The Catcher in the Rye is an American novel authored by JD Salinger. It is a young adult fictional novel that follows the life of an unreliable first-person narrator. Holden Caulfield, a 16-year-old boy who has been expelled by 3 different schools for failing grades, narrates the entire novel. At the end of the fall semester at Pinty Prep, Holden decides to head to his hometown early without telling his parents. He decides that he will stay in a hotel for 3 days until it's time for him to go home. During this time, while he's alone, adventuring, he meets a few different characters who he has unique interactions with. He meets the mother of one of his former classmates, who he lies to about how great of a student her son is. He also meets a stripper who he tries to have sexual relations with. He meets a bartender who refuses to serve him alcohol. And he also meets 2 nuns who he has an in-depth conversation with about Romeo and Juliet. All along, Holden Caulfield is trying to discover who he is. He is trying to discover why people change. He is trying to understand what's going on with the human condition. He's truly frustrated with the fact that people must change over the course of their lifetime. Holden goes through subtle heartbreaks throughout the novel that kind of send him in a personal mentality of disarray. He's trying to understand why things are the way they are. Although he's in a depressed state throughout the novel, the adventures he goes through are truly inspirational. He ultimately returns home, but he alludes to becoming sick once he gets home. Although we see Holden going into a positive direction at the end of the novel, we still see that he's going to have to undergo some sort of medical evaluation regarding his mental state. Holden symbolizes an individual who needs outside help in order to get through day-to-day life. However, he understands that the best way for him to get through life is for him to help others before helping himself. Salinger does a tremendous job at using an unreliable narrator to tell the story of a young boy struggling with the inevitable facts of life. I would have liked to see more foreshadowing to see where Holden is heading in the novel. However, that may ruin the point of the novel. The audience isn't told where Holden is going because the most important part of the novel is that Holden is willing to push forward in life even though he doesn't understand why life works the way that it does. On page 65 of the novel, Holden Caulfield states, "The best thing, though, in that museum was that everything always stayed right where it was. Nobody'd move. You could go there 100,000 times and that Eskimo would still be just finished catching those 2 fish. The birds would still be on their way south. The deers would still be drinking out of the water hole with their pretty antlers and their pretty skinny legs. And that squaw with the naked bosom would still be weaving that same blanket. Nobody'd be different. The only thing that would be different would be you. Not that you'd be so much older or anything. It wouldn't be that exactly. You'd just be different, that's all. You'd have an overcoat on this time. Or the kid that was your partner in line last time had got scarlet fever and you'd have a new partner. Or you'd have a substitute taking the class instead of Miss Eigeltinger. Or you'd heard your mother and father having a terrific fight in the bathroom. Or you just passed by one of those puddles in the street with gasoline rainbows in them. I mean, you'd be different in some way. I can't explain what I mean, and even if I could, I'm not sure I'd feel like it." The novel circles around the themes of conflict and inevitable change. The major conflict within the novel is that Holden has trouble accepting that things change in life. He has difficulty accepting the human condition the way that it is. Students aging 15 to 18 will enjoy this novel. The novel deals with addressing personal conflicts and inevitable change in the human condition. Although this novel is intended for 11th grade students, it addresses audiences of all age groups. This novel can easily be compared to F. Scott Fitzgerald's Great Gatsby because it deals with an unreliable narrator who must seek professional help in order to get through day-to-day life.